Hello Galaxy Commanders and welcome to this video for Infinite Galaxy. What are we going to talk about today? So, very important, I got some news, some deeper understanding of the game mechanics, how battles are calculated in the game. So we will dive into the deep of the game mechanics there. I think this is a very important information I got from Camel there. Second, as you can see, Space Plan popped up again. Unlocking it will give us something from everything. If you want this stuff, it's a very good price. If you say I only want it for, let's say, the Advanced Federation credits, then you can get better offers. So as I still need resources from all the types, as I'm not really a big fan of the rich kit, but for me there's something in I want. The Federation credits, Advanced Federation credits, resources, the flagship XP, I mean, yes, they are nice. Now these days that we need to rank up so many flagships, they are nice. The crew XP is nice. So for me that's something I'm still going to get. And yeah, I'm just going to make sure that I do all the daily missions. It's very easy. Check the missions. There are two things that I usually do not do that I always do when the space plan pops up. That's a crew training course, so I give one of the cheap XPs to a crew member, same thing with a flagship, one of the small XP things to the flagship every day, and this way I easily get my daily missions all done. Season missions, they just happen automatically. Maybe you wouldn't do the speed up, but honestly you do not even have to do it. Okay, so Space Plan, oh yeah, don't forget to collect your rewards. Space Plan is done. What else do we have? We do have another Lost Star cluster. I'm going to do this, but before I'm doing this, let's go and talk about the battle mechanics, as promised. So, we do have the message here. All damage will be aggregated together and calculated after the combat, not one by one. So I think that is very important to understand. After the combat, meaning you get all these things calculated before. And very important, so that's how it got explained to me. If your cruiser fleet does 30,000 damage against frigates with 7,000 damage, meaning you will lose 4 frigates. 4 times 7,000, 28,000, and then 1 frigate will be damaged. I can't tell you exactly how they do the calculation, because during that time I will also probably lose some cruisers, at least if there are enough frigates to cause enough damage. But very important to understand, there is no overkill, meaning you cannot do more damage and let's say you do a 30,000 damage hit versus a 1000 HP warship. It does not mean that this would then just, yeah, go into the air and this damage is lost. So let's take a look again now at our warships with this kind of information. I did do a little bit calculation. I did before we already shared the damage per leadership, which we had here. And based on this, our destroyers have the highest damage per leadership. When we start looking at the HP, we will see our destroyers are still in the middle, the cruisers are on the bottom, and the frigates will have the highest HP per leadership. Now, and that's important, with this kind of understanding, we now know that there's no damage lost, meaning we have to look at the whole leadership capacity of our fleet. So we will get the highest HP per leadership with frigates, we get the highest damage per leadership with destroyers. Armor, absolutely, yeah, frigates on top, 5 times as much as destroyers and 15 times as much as cruisers. So as we don't know exactly how armor works, it's difficult to say how much better this is, but it's a lot more. Shield, we are much closer together again, but same thing, frigates on top, destroyers in the middle, and cruisers on the bottom. So based on this, what does that mean? I do love cruisers, and if you ask me, cruisers do still have the best flagship to accompany them, because it's, yeah, it's very damage focused. It's something I like. This works well with my playstyle. But when you talk to frigate users, for example in Special Artemis users, they say, oh, my frigates, they work so well. And the reason why they work so well is that they do have such an high HP, armor and shield per leadership value. And you saw my videos before. Every time when I try to figure out what's the best fleet setup, I always have to put some frigates inside, and that's same thing there because of their high HP, armor and shield per leadership values. This just makes my fleet much more robust. The damage still coming in my case from the cruisers because I'm running the Brontes and the Cyclops. It can also come from your destroyers, or that's a problem, there's no real there's no flagships that really pushes frigate damage. All the frigates, so the Artemis and the Orion flagships, they are focused on defensive skills, which somehow makes sense because frigates are focused on that too. Just wanted to share this kind of information with you. I think that is very interesting. It also explains why they went with this kind of very defensive setup for the Artemis. It's just working perfectly with the values that you get from frigates anyhow. So yeah, that's it on this side. Would I change anything because of this? If you didn't watch it, check my video about flagships and flagship combinations. I made it after the flagship tier list. You will see that I am a little bit biased now, going more into especially like destroyer directions. I think having the destroyers is really a big help, and that's something I want to try today. As you can see, I do not have enough ships to really come up with a full destroyer frigate fleet. So today, and that will be very interesting, I want to run a mixed fleet in the Lost Star event. But before we do this, to make it at least a little bit fair, I'm not allowed to forget to buff. So last time I made this video, I did use attack buff, I did use defense buff, and also the HP buff. So I will do this again. It would be completely unfair and nothing we could compare in any way. So now I will set up, I will go with my Prometheus and Hercules fleet. It's already set up for mainly using laser type flagships. So we will see how that works out when we now fill it up with all the destroyers we have, and then we add all the frigates, and we fill it up with cruisers. You look here at the leadership, even if the slider is very far on the left side, it's still the highest leadership I will bring into the game. So let's dispatch it. We will form our fleet with the Prometheus, Hercules. We will try to go strong in with destroyers. We will only add, let's say, 4,000 leadership of the cruisers because it just doesn't match the weapons type. 10,000, let's see, probably can go a little bit higher here. Let's go to 10,000, and then we fill it up with frigates, so that we really can make sure that we have this survivability there. Running Prometheus and Hercules will give us a big boost in PvE skills. So I will now start to just get all the skills together and do the fighting, and as soon as I'm done with this, we will come back with a summary of all of that. Okay, so two things that were different. First, I did go for mainly attacks this time, and last time I was going more for HP. I will show it to you in a second. And second thing, I did rank much lower, only 280,000 points. So let's get this inside there. This was the result from last time. As you can see, I got there up to 340,000 instead of 280. But also important to note, if we take a look now at the buffs, today I went with total warship attack 100%. Last time I did increase a lot of the shield. I didn't get so much things, and I had my fleet still mainly cruiser oriented, even if I were using similar the Prometheus there. So what does that mean? One thing I can see, I had more leadership, so probably I did use a leadership buff. Sure, that makes a huge difference. And I did had a little bit different setup. But overall, I think I have to try it next time. Instead of going focused on attack, I will go focused on defense, and we will see how I will end up then. So I'm very curious how that will work, and yeah, let's see in the next video when we do this event again. So for now, I hope at least information about how the battle mechanics work, that all this damage is accumulated and then calculated at the end over the whole fleet. I think that's a very important piece of information. As usual, let me know what you think in the comments. Give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and then I'll see you all on the next video again.